Melaye scolds Shettima, says that the presidential villa is not for bandits. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us once again on the channel. We'd like to say a very big welcome to all of you. Well, on today's report, this one says, Dino Melaye scolds Shettima, says that the presidential villa is not for bandits. Well, we're going to go into the details of this report and see why Senator Dino Melaye is actually saying that the presidential villa is not for bandits. But before we go into the details fully, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you are a first-time subscriber. And to all of our existing subscribers, please don't forget to just always give us a thumbs up on our posts as they come your way. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Now into the details of today's report. It says one of the spokespersons of the Atiku Okowa Presidential Campaign Council, Senator Dino Melaye, has chided the vice presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Kashim Shettima, saying that the presidential villa is not meant for bandits. This is just as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the 2023 elections, Atiku Abubakar, yesterday admitted that though the crisis rocking the party had yet to be resolved, he had moved ahead to commence his campaign for the presidency. Speaking to the Voice of America, VOA Alta Service in Washington, D.C., Atiku insisted that the call for the removal of the party's national chairman, Dr. Iyorchia Ayu, was ill-timed and counterproductive. The former vice president promised that his government, if elected president next year, would not be manipulated by any group of persons intent on controlling the affairs of state, either as a cabal or under whatever nomenclature. He declared his prospective administration support for the death penalty for kidnappers. Dino Melaye, in a statement, said, overwhelmed by the conviviality of a civil atmosphere, Kashim Shettima, the Grand Commander of Bandits and the running mate of the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, who has gathered enough funds from his field soldiers to be so intoxicated as to engage in a verbal gibberish that is only permissible in Sambisa Forest. He has been seen in a footage where he was exiting a rented crowd with whimsical pot shots as His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. It was the same hallucination that made Shettima to have defined an illusory presidency where he would create an office for Boko Haram in the villa, with him in charge of the security of our precious Nigeria. The emergence of the garrulous, intemperate, and indecorous Shettima is another manifestation of the failure of the All Progressives Congress, which, after weeks of shilly-shally to fill the slot of a running mate, ultimately settled for a rustic jejune, whose concept of a suit is the sartorial equivalent of Bambariga. The joke rested squarely on Shettima, who, in an attempt to desecrate the wholesomeness of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, succeeded in promoting the presidential campaign front-runner as a productive, enterprising, and job-creating office seeker, who does not fit into the mold of rent seekers like Shettima and his presidential campaign boss. Melaye urged Nigerians to critically assess those he described as jesters in the political space, whose understanding of political campaign was the acerbic deployment of an unsterilized mouth, adding that in attempting to cast aspersions on Atiku's high profile, Shettima only succeeded in promoting him as a global citizen who was well acceptable in Dubai. Meanwhile, Atiku, who spoke to the Voice of America's head of Hausa service, Aliyu Mustafa Sokoto, during an exclusive interview at the radio station in Washington said, "You won't find any cabal in my government. It is me, Waziri Atiku, that will run the administration." The People's Democratic Party's presidential hopeful had visited America to hold discussions with the United States government officials on issues confronting the country, including insecurity, economic drawbacks, and the 2023 elections. He told the Voice of America that in order to tackle the problem of insecurity, an overhaul of the Constitution was imperative. According to him, we would confront this issue by convoking a constitutional review so that states and local governments to whom we intend to give the imprimatur to run their security affairs would be able to do so. But this requires a rejig of the Constitution. Before we embark on this, we intend to employ more boots on ground, especially in the area of policing and civil defense, all of which we want to equip properly. The former vice president explained that his administration would work closely with the judiciary to ensure the speedy trial of offenders, pointing out that he would support the imposition of the death penalty for terrorism-related offenses. Although Atiku did not talk elaborately on his current relationship with his erstwhile boss, the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, the PDP candidate said his disagreement with Obasanjo when they were in office was one of the factors that cost him victory in his bid for the presidency in 2011. On the planned redesign of the Naira by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) under the current APC administration, Atiku said that he knew nothing about it. But on the issue of the Nigerian oil refineries, he said, "My position on this is not new. I have told you some years ago that I will privatize them. The reason is simple. If you allow investors to own them, they will be better managed." He added that private investors had the capacity to overhaul the refineries and make them functional at all times. On corruption, he said the rule of law will be applied to make sure that those found guilty were sanctioned appropriately. This would demonstrate to Nigerians that our government means business. Atiku said the PDP presidential candidate also spoke on the internal squabbles rocking his party. He acknowledged that there was no reconciliation in sight yet. "Our train has moved on. We leave the dislocations to the dustbin of history." He said that he did not support the removal of the party's chairman, as this was not a clever move on the eve of elections. Now that is the details of this report. We see that Dino Melaye has given his reasons why he said the presidential villa is not for the bandits. Well, until we come your way next time with more reports, do well to stay blessed. Bye-bye.